Welcome back to the battles between Yellow Bastard versus the Joker and who will win. Before we dive into the analysis, please remember to subscribe to the channel to support me, and thank you very much.
In the dark world of Sin City, the name Yellow Bastard is a terrifying symbol of corruption. He, whose real name is Ethan Roark Jr., is not just an ordinary villain, but also the embodiment of power, abused to the point of deforming both body and soul. Born into the Roark family, one of the most corrupt political forces in Basin City, he was surrounded by money and privilege from a young age. On the surface, Ethan is a wealthy, flashy, and reckless playboy. But deep beneath that shell is a true monster, a sick individual who specializes in hunting innocent young girls, turning the pain of others into his own twisted pleasure. His crimes do not stop at brutality, but also serve as a testament to how power can hide and nurture evil, as seen when he confronted John Hartigan, an old but resilient police officer. In a life-and-death encounter, Ethan was shot and lost many vital body parts. However, death was not the end for him. Thanks to the massive financial resources and influence of his father, he was pulled back from the brink through cruel and unnatural surgical methods. That rebirth did not bring salvation, but only made him more horrific. His body was completely deformed. His skin and blood turned a distorted yellow hue, emitting an unpleasant stench, with muscles bulging like a creature outside of nature. From then on, the name Yellow Bastard was born, not just to describe his appearance, but also to reflect his disgusting inner nature. He is not the sophisticated, scheming type of villain, but a living nightmare where primal strength and madness merge into one. Yellow Bastard could easily overwhelm John Hartigan, a police officer who, despite being over 60 years old, was still famous for his extraordinary will and physical strength. His punches were not only destructive, but strong enough to break through floors, lifting and throwing a car as if it were just a toy. Every movement exuded pure, uncontrolled violence. His body also possessed terrifying durability and regenerative abilities. Taking multiple shots from a .44 Magnum into vital spots like the head, neck, or chest still could not finish him off. After horrific injuries, his body was reconstructed through unethical experiments, leaving a distinct mark through his deformed yellow skin and blood. This is what made him more like a product of dark science than a real human being. His pain tolerance is also nearly beyond normal perception. Even when his hand was shot off, or he was beaten until his face was deformed, he never let out a cry of pain. That terrifying silence was not spiritual strength, but a manifestation of a mind that had completely deviated, no longer feeling pain like a normal person. He relies entirely on overwhelming power and predatory instincts. He can use guns and knives when necessary, but what makes him most dangerous is his ability to close in and crush his opponents. His speed is enough to chase a moving car, creating a sense of inescapable dread for anyone he targets. However, behind that invincible appearance, clear weaknesses still exist. Yellow Bastard is not an intelligent or calculating person. He is easily agitated, acts impulsively, and depends entirely on physical strength. It is this lack of control and strategic thinking that makes him a dangerous monster, but also one that is easy to exploit if the opponent is alert enough. Yellow Bastard does not just exist as a monster, but left behind a string of crimes that left the entire city in a lingering obsession for years. He committed a series of horrific crimes, targeting the weakest victims, yet remained comfortably at large. The reason was not his sophistication, but rather the shadow of power from the Roark family. This protection turned him into someone almost untouchable, making justice feel helpless against his repeated crimes. He returned in a deformed state with the sole goal of revenge. The obsession named Nancy Callahan became the driving force that kept him hunting, regardless of all limits. On this journey, he not only hunted, but also pushed John Hartigan to the brink of death, torturing and tormenting him cruelly, as if wanting to erase every trace of resistance that ever existed. Despite suffering severe injuries, he still survived as a challenge to the laws of nature. By the second time, he pursued relentlessly, regardless of bullets piercing his body, still standing up and fighting like a creature that could not be subdued. However, that very stubbornness and madness became a double-edged sword. When facing someone who refused to yield like Hartigan, his pure strength gradually revealed its limits. The fight ended not with absolute dominance, but with a great cost to both sides. Yellow Bastard does not have many worthy enemies. In fact, only Hartigan was a man with enough will and determination to stand firm against him. And that is what makes every confrontation between them iconic, where evil and justice collide in the rawest and most brutal form.
Remember to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon and turn on notifications to see the earliest videos. Thank you all very much.
Now we will talk about the Joker. No name evokes chaos like the Joker. Known as the Clown Prince of Crime, he is not only the arch nemesis of Batman, but also a living embodiment of uncontrollable madness. Joker is not simply a criminal, he is an idea, a laughing nightmare. He does not even care who he used to be. That ambiguity only increases the fear, because Joker is not bound by any identity or moral limits. He exists as a symbol where every rule is distorted. Joker is not driven by money or power. His only goal is to prove a twisted truth that with just one bad day, anyone can break down and become as insane as he is. This very belief makes every action of the Joker unpredictable and extremely dangerous, because he does not act for profit, but for the joy of destroying order. With a sharp intellect, Joker is a master of psychological manipulation, chemistry, and cruel mental games. He can turn seemingly simple plans into widespread nightmares, where fear and doubt creep into every dark corner of Gotham City. Each of his jokes carries a price in blood, and his smile is always a sign of an impending tragedy. The most terrifying thing about Joker is not physical strength, but the ability to make others break themselves. He does not just attack the body, but crushes the spirit, turning victims into fragments of despair. And it is within that chaos that Joker finds his meaning of existence. Joker does not need supernatural power to become the greatest nightmare of Batman. Joker does not fight with muscles, but with calculated chaos, where every step hides a layer of morbid meaning. Joker is a master of chemistry, able to create signature toxins like the lethal laughing gas that makes victims pass away with a twisted smile. But the weapon more dangerous than any is the ability to manipulate psychology. He reads people, exploits deep fears, and pushes opponents into a state of self-destruction. At the same time, perfect acting skills help him change roles flexibly, sometimes a madman, other times like a cold genius, making it so no one can predict the next step. Although he does not possess superior physical strength, Joker is still capable of holding his own in direct confrontations with Batman for a short time. He uses knives, guns, and street fighting skills to compensate for physical limitations. More notably is the extraordinary endurance. Joker can continue to laugh, even when brutally beaten, as if pain only makes him more excited. His weapons clearly reflect distorted creativity, from bombs, guns, and knives, to items that seem harmless but hide deadly damage. All bear the mark of a joke. Devices such as disguised electric shocks or hidden toxins make anyone a potential victim. When necessary, he can also stage large-scale plans, turning all of Gotham City into a stage for his chaotic performance. What makes Joker nearly impossible to eliminate completely is his unbelievable survival ability. Whether falling from great heights, being poisoned, or beaten near death, he still has a way to return, as if madness itself keeps him alive. Each of his achievements is not merely violence, but a sick performance. The darkest milestones being his torture and murder of Jason Todd. This cruel act not only took the life of a Robin, but also left a deep psychological wound for Batman. It does not stop there. In The Killing Joke, Joker shot Barbara Gordon, causing her to lose the ability to walk. Joker once spread chaos over the entire Gotham City, using toxins that drove the citizens insane. He also repeatedly manipulated power systems, controlled Arkham Asylum, and collaborated with dangerous criminal minds like Lex Luthor or Deathstroke. These alliances show that Joker is not just a lone madman. Despite being defeated countless times by Batman, he always returns. Not because he is immortal in the conventional sense, but because Batman never crosses the line of killing. Joker rarely wins through direct strength. Before Batman, he often gains the upper hand through careful preparation and psychological manipulation, turning the battle into a mental test rather than a physical one. Even in the Emperor Joker event, he once held nearly divine power, confronting Superman and almost pushing the entire universe to the brink of collapse. Joker has also faced the entire Bat family, Justice League, and countless other heroes many times. Each time he appears, he redefines his own level of danger, making every victory against him temporary. Joker's achievements are not only measured by the number of victims, but by the level of chaos he leaves behind. He does not need to rule the world in the usual way, because for Joker, just making the world collapse in laughter is enough to prove that he is always the winner in his own way. In an encounter between Yellow Bastard of Sin City and Joker of DC Comics, the battle begins. From the very first moment, Joker steps in with his familiar smile, throwing out sick jokes that dig deep into the deformed appearance of his opponent. He turns disgust into entertainment, deliberately provoking to push Yellow Bastard into a state of losing control. And just as expected, rage erupts. Yellow Bastard charges like a machine of destruction, without hesitation, without tactics, only pure strength. Joker does not confront him directly, but constantly evades, moving flexibly, testing reactions while stretching out the time. Items that seem harmless, like electric shock devices or throwing knives, are launched repeatedly to test the limits of his opponent. When he realizes that physical strength is incomparable, Joker quickly switches to a familiar tactic, activating lethal laughing gas in hopes of breaking the nervous system of the man before him. However, the situation quickly escapes his calculations. Yellow Bastard inhales the toxic gas but does not collapse. His already transformed body reacts in an even more distorted way. Instead of weakening, he laughs manically and becomes more aggressive than ever before. That moment marks the turning point of the battle. Joker is still laughing, but behind it is a rare surprise, as he realizes he is facing something that does not follow the rules. From this point on, the momentum completely shifts to Yellow Bastard. He destroys devices, moves through traps as if they do not exist, and then closes the gap on Joker with incredible speed. One punch is strong enough to send his opponent flying through a wall, followed by a series of relentless attacks that offer no chance for resistance. Once he has Joker by the throat, he delivers consecutive punches, carrying the full power of a creature that never tires. Even so, Joker is not completely helpless. He takes the blows with incredible durability, still laughing, and continuing to fight back with precise knife strikes. But every wound caused is quickly erased by the abnormal regeneration of Yellow Bastard. What used to be effective against normal humans is now meaningless. Switching to guns and explosives, Joker hopes to turn the tide with firepower. But against an opponent almost immune to normal damage, every effort gradually becomes desperate. Yellow Bastard moves forward without slowing down, taking bullets like they are nothing, then ends the match by crushing the neck of his opponent. The smile of the Joker remains until the final second, as if he was never truly afraid. But this time, the joke has ended. Yellow Bastard holds the overwhelming advantage due to physical strength and endurance. His chance of winning is about 85 to 90%.
What do you think about this battle? Please let me know your thoughts in the comments section. Thank you all very much.